Welcome back, Lighthouse Ministries, you guys. We are here today to talk to you guys about trauma points. Now, I know that a lot of people don't necessarily believe that they may have a trauma point, or you may not think that it's necessary to finish this video, but we're telling you today that trauma points are real and they're necessary, and they can hinder all deliverance in your life if you do not get rid of the trauma point. So first and foremost, what is a trauma point? A trauma point is a time zone in your life where it kind of is a tear in your soul, where something have happened to you that was so dramatic that you cannot grow past it, you can't get past it. It becomes a part of you, and it also becomes the very thing that is tearing you down. So we have been through deliverance ourselves, and a lot of time God was given to us specific times that we had to go back and that we had to heal from those moments. And it could have been 15 years ago. So a lot of times a trauma point is from your childhood, because that's when the enemy loves to come in the most, when you're in your adolescent years. So what me and her have realized a lot about us is that these trauma points are one of the biggest things that hold us back from walking in Christ the way that we are supposed to. So let's just say, for example, Christ have called you to be married, and it's your calling. You know what you have to do, but it just seems as if you cannot do it. And so when you go through deliverance, they start asking you questions about personal things, and you come across something and you're like, I don't really want to talk about that. It's too hard. It's too dark. I'm not comfortable sharing that. That could be the very thing that is keeping you from having a happy marriage. It's the places that is hard for you to reach on your own, that it's kind of like been buried for so long, and the enemy protects that trauma point. There is a demon that goes around, and he makes sure that you don't remove that trauma point, because a lot of times that's where demons hide. So I wanted to talk about how the enemy sow a seed in your life when you're not aware.
All right, guys, the verse is Matthew 13 through 24 through 26. Here is another story Jesus told. The kingdom of heaven is like a farmer who planted good seeds in his field. But that night, as the workers slept, his enemy came and planted weeds among the wheat, then slipped away. When the crops began to grow and produce began, the weeds also grew.
Yes, so the enemy comes in when you're asleep. He comes in when your mind is not sober. He comes in when you do not understand what he is doing. He want to get you before you start to come into knowledge of Christ. A lot of times that is when you're in your youth, your adolescence, your younger years. And he creates trauma points to keep you. Now, some of us always ask the question, why does the enemy come after me so hard, but he didn't come after my sisters and brothers so hard? Why did he come after me so hard, but not my friends so hard? And a lot of times because you're the one that carries the light, and his job is to snuff the light out of you, because he do not want you to come into understanding of who you really are in Christ, and that you are chosen, you are destined for Christ. So what happens to us sometimes in these trauma points is it melts us down. It keeps us from growing. So you can be a 30-year-old in a 12-year-old mindset. And I know that may sound foolish, or, it may sound a little crazy, but it's true. That's why you come across people who just cannot take loyalty serious, because someone walked out of their life and abandoned them. So they feel as if I come close to you, and if I give you all of my love, if I give you all of my trust, how do I know that you're not going to do the same thing that my mother did, that my father did, that someone did to me that created a trauma in my life? So it's hard for me to trust again in that way. So I just push you away before you even get too close to me. Before you get the chance to break my heart, I'm already pushing you away. And that's because he's holding on to a trauma that needs to be let go.
So my testimony, you guys, is that at some point I used to deal with the spirit of rejection. I used to, when I was younger, I was rejected by a lot of people, a lot of family members. And I think the main trauma point was feeling like I was rejected by my father. So I was fatherless at some point, and I feel rejected by everything, everyone else. So I shielded myself off. And as I became an adult, especially walking into my marriage, I began to reject myself, and I began to reject my husband. When we first met, I rejected him very bad because I was afraid that he was going to reject me. Like he said, somebody that don't know love is or have been brokenhearted, they breaks the person's heart before they can get their heart broken again, because they don't want to feel that emotion. And what the spirit of rejection was doing was causing me to reject everybody else, especially the rejection of love. So then I began to reject him, and in a way that I didn't understand what true love was. So when he came into my life, he was showing me love, but I had no clue what it was. So I rejected him from him loving me, and it took me a long time to receive his love. God had to remove the spirit of rejection and make me realize that your husband loves you, but you don't want to receive his love because you don't know what love is.
So exactly why we need deliverance from traumas. So I just want to leave you guys with this. Stop holding on to your trauma. The things that hurt you in your past, the things that destroyed you when you were young, the things that you are embarrassed about, the things that you're ashamed about, the things that you refuse to bring to the light is the very things that the enemy is going to use to keep you in captivity, to keep you in bondage, and to keep you from knowing who Christ really is and who he can really be in your life. He can heal you. If you just come to him in the right way, under the right spirit, he can heal you and he can set you free. But you don't have to sit here in your trauma any longer. You don't have to sit there in the things that hurt you or scorned you. And y'all, we're going to get deep in this series of trauma points. And I just want to go over, a lot of different traumas and a lot of different things that we all need healing from. Personal stuff with us and personal testimonies of others. And I just want you guys to come along with this trauma journey so we all can get the healing that we deserve.